Hi guys, it's Pete from MyJewelryBench.com. What we're going to do today is adjust the timing on this vintage Omega Seamaster. It's got a little timing problem where it's running a little bit fast, and I'm going to show you basically how to time this watch. Let's get started. Okay guys, so what I'm working on today is adjusting this Seamaster that has a slight timing issue. It's running a couple minutes fast a day, actually about 4 minutes fast a day. I'm going to show you how to quickly adjust these. But these particular watches, these vintage watches from the 1950s, have interesting cases that have to be opened. And you can see I've got gloves on because I don't want to get any of my body oil on the dial. It's a vintage dial, very hard to replace. So I want to show you how to open this up. We're going to open it up. I'm going to get this into focus a little bit so we can see the crease here. I can get my camera to focus here. There is a crease along the perimeter of the bezel, and what we have to do is pop that open. So you're going to take a very fine screwdriver or a knife, and you're just going to push open the bezel ever so gently. Lift up that bezel. You can see it has a two-piece insert for the gold trim. I'm going to get that back in place before we go any further. And that's that. I'm going to put that aside. Now here, because the hands are exposed, you have to use extreme caution. You don't want to do any damage to the watch because this is where you can cause damage to the dial on the hands. So very gently, you're going to want to pull out the crown. This particular crown has a two-position click, but we actually want to pull the crown out. This is a male-female stem. So when I pull this, it should disconnect from the inside of the watch. And I'm going to put that aside. Not all crowns are like that, so don't get too eager to start pulling every crown you see. Now, I'm going to try to get this in focus here. On this particular watch, the movement is held in place with a dial locking ring, and that dial locking ring has a little indentation here and here. Right now, it's in the locked position, and I need to unlock this. So to unlock it, I'm going to put a small screwdriver here, and I am going to gently push this ring counterclockwise until it stops. Now what I've done is I've released the locking mechanism from a tab here and a tab over here, and the movement should come right out very easily. I'm just going to flip this over and take the movement out, and there we have it. We have our beautiful Seamaster movement from the 50s all set. Here's our case. I'm going to put that aside for now. So the next part we want to do is we want to time this. So timing this is, not unlike any other watch. I'm actually going to put it in a movement holder so that the hands don't touch any of the movement holding pieces. I'm going to flip the weight wheel or the flywheel over so we expose the balance. And so there's our balance on our watch right here, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit as if I can get this to focus up a little bit. Okay. Kind of a little out of focus. It's going to zoom out just a little bit. Here we go. Now let's take a look at this. On our balance cock, we have actually three places where we can adjust this. We have the little screw for the micro adjustment, which is right here. And if I put a screwdriver in there, I can move this little arrow back and forth just by turning the screw, and that gives me micro movement in the escape so that I can adjust the hairspring very, very little, maybe seconds a day. When we have to make major changes, we have to look towards the collet holder right here and the hairspring holder right here. And what we want to do in this case is we want to shorten the distance between the hairspring collet and its holder here and the hairspring adjustment knob here. I actually want to push this towards the collet. That way, what I'm doing is I'm shortening or I'm actually lengthening the circumference of the hairspring, and by doing that, I'm increasing or actually slowing the watch down just ever so slightly. So I'm just going to hold this movement as best I can and get that in the light, and I'm just going to tweak this over just about like that. Yeah, not so much. Very gently pushing this. Right about here. Okay. Now, making a minor adjustment like that's not going to hurt the beat. The watch is still going to run, it's still going to beat well, but we're actually trying to keep the center pin on the micro adjustment in the middle and adjusting the time by using these manual adjustments here. That way I can use micro adjustments later on when I'm trying to get this thing as good as I can get it. Remember, it is a 60-year-old watch, so it's going to have, you know, its issues with wear and tear. That's how I like to do it. We've covered that before with watches. This one is just a little bit more complicated. Now, to put this back in the case, let's get our case aligned correctly here. We have to get the stem of the watch. This is the stem right here. Get that in focus. This is the stem right here. We got to get that into the little hole. And remember, the case lock or the movement lock is disengaged, so we can easily insert our movement without doing any damage. And just double check, make sure it's in place. And then the tabs are good. I'm going to take the pin or my screwdriver and I'm going to move this locking system back in place. Just make sure we get that in place. And now the movement is held back into the case so I can flip it over and nothing comes out of it. So we're good there. The next step is to insert the crown. So I have my crown here. And you can see, if I can get this to focus here, this is, let's get it over here. I'm going to grab it with some tweezers so you can see what I'm talking about, guys. You can see this is a female end of a crown, and the male end is inserted in the watch, and you can see it's got a little groove in there, and that's a snapping groove. If you haven't seen these before, and I know some of you have, some of you haven't, they snap together and stay in the movement. That's why we had to pull it out, so now we have to push it in. To push it in correctly, I need to find the alignment angle, and I usually do that with a loop or a microscope, and I'm just going to look under my microscope real quick and find out what angle the male stem is. It's from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, so it's not too bad. I'm going to grab my crown. I'm going to align it correctly. And insert it into the watch. Just try to feel my way around until it feels like it wants to hug it. And there, we've snapped it in. Now I can pull this out and set the time. And we know the time is 5:40, so I'm going to set this to 5:40. push that back in. The last step is to just put the dial and bezel, or the cover, I'm sorry. The last step is to put the crystal and the bezel in place. So I'm going to gently put that over the watch. Align this particular watch has a magnifier at the 3 o'clock position, so we're just going to turn that until it's aligned correctly. And it's right about there. And once that's in place, I'm going to snap it together. Now again, this is an older watch and it's kind of lost its water resistance over the years with multiple services, but you can see it's still a beautiful piece, and nothing beats an Omega Seamaster. I kind of like these watches. They are fun to work on. There's plenty of them out there, but they're still a good collector's watch and very valuable. These things range in price from, in this condition, probably about $700. I've seen them from about $450 up to a couple $1,000 depending on what they're made of. Some have stainless steel, some have gold backs like this, and you always want to look for that Seamaster logo. So, great watch. That's how you take it apart, that's how you get the movement out, that's how you adjust the time. I hope you like this video, guys. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to get notifications every time I upload a new video, whatever the subject is, hit that little notification bell, and every time I upload a video, you will get a notification from YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks guys for taking the time to watch some of my videos. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos and you find them helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see new stuff that I put out, usually on a weekly basis, hit the subscribe button and you can get notified by clicking on that little bell. I really appreciate any sharing that you can do, and the thumbs up that I get if you like these videos kind of helps with my channel to grow. You'll see that in the descriptions and on my website I do put affiliate links to products that I show and use in these videos. Those affiliate links give me a little small commission. Doesn't cost you anything if you buy them. And when you buy within the first 24 hours of clicking on those links, I get a tiny little commission that helps keep this channel going. Any little bit helps to keep this up and running. Again, thanks for taking the time to watch it. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up and share on social media. Take care, guys. Happy watchmaking and jewelry making.